Yeah, way in the back.
David says, from what I understand, E.G. White's picture, the only reason God created a tree of knowledge of good and evil is to settle a controversy between Christ and Satan that has always bothered me, using humans to prove a point.
Okay, so there's that same concern. Was the only reason to create the tree to prove a point?
No.
No, absolutely not. That premise is a false premise. Wherever that premise came from, it is not the teaching of Scripture, nor is it the teaching of Ellen White. What are the two reasons for the tree? Number one, if you believe, what we've already laid out, was the controversy that began in heaven with these extraterrestrials, Michael and his angels fighting against the dragon and his angels, did that begin before or after Eden? Before. So there's already a controversy in the universe when Adam and Eve were created. So what then, in that context, what were the purpose of the tree? Two purposes.
Protection of Adam and Eve.
Number one, Satan could only approach them at the tree. That you and I, think about this, if you could only experience temptation at one tree on this whole planet, you could travel the whole planet and never have any temptation of any kind except one tree. Wow, we can't even comprehend that because we're tempted everywhere. They could only be tempted at the tree. That's the only place.
Makes you wonder how Eve ended up there.
Yeah. And then the second reason, if you understand design law and how God can create perfect, sinless beings. He cannot create, by an act of power, mature character. Mature character requires the exercise of the individuality of the sentient being to determine what character they will develop. Will they develop a character of loyalty, faithfulness, truthfulness, integrity, or will they develop the character of a liar, a fraud, and a cheat? Now, God can create robots, for sure, that are programmed to look like they're making free choices, but they're all programmed by Him. He could do that, but that's not free sentient beings. Is everybody with me? With that in mind, the tree was placed there for their development, for them to be able to exercise their genuine freedom and choose loyalty, thus maturing and developing and advancing themselves in God's pathways. So it's not for their fall. It was for the solidification of their character and righteousness. That's what it was for. And they could never have achieved that without being faced with a decision that they would freely choose to establish, this is who I am. I choose honesty, not deceptiveness. Yes?
Might there have been a tree on other planets in the universe?
If now we're going to go outside Scripture, and if you value Ellen White's writings, Ellen White actually says that all the other planets have trees of knowledge and good and evil, and only the Adam and Eve on earth chose to take of that fruit. The rest of them all chose loyalty and solidified themselves in mature character. So that's extra biblical. So we can't make that case from Scripture about the tree, but she does endorse that idea. It makes sense that all the intelligences would have to make a decision for loyalty or for disloyalty to God.